It's probably a difficult one, because I think the perfect scenario is that, you know, everyone would come back and would have bodies to now. Our young lads wouldn't get the opportunity to be on the bench, but then obviously from our cases, well, our young lads are then getting maybe the opportunity to be involved or be, you know, go towards them games. I think now, between obviously going into the weekend's game, I think after that we go a little bit more Saturday to Saturday or Saturday to Sundays before obviously the Champions League stuff come in. So that maybe gives boys fitness and time to come back and get more involved in games. I do think that, you know, the squad right now is depleted with the injuries, but the players that we need to come back, do they bring stronger to us? Yeah, they do. Of course, they make us stronger. Seeing Joe Gomez come back is a huge bonus tonight. I think leading into it, to see obviously what to go out is you know, at the minute we seem to be in that spot where one comes in, one goes. We don't seem to be in a spot where we're bringing people back and people back and people back. So, but listen, the lads, whenever they're getting used or when they're ever called upon, they're going to have to step up and they're going to have to be counted, and whoever that may be. And you know, it's a fantastic start tonight to see people come on and change the game and make a huge impact going forward.
See, I'm really pleased that we see an extra young lad on the bench rather than having two keepers. I just don't see the benefits of that. I'd rather young lads get that experience, to be there, to be around players, to feel atmosphere, to have a different environment than what they normally do. So I always think, you know, it's a bit of a waste having the two goalies on the bench and you've not got a young kid experience it. Hopefully they do get it. But looking sort of, you know, we've got long-term injuries, you know, Connor, you know, Isaac.
Frimpong's going to be a little bit wild, is he?
Is he going to be a little bit more? So, you know, it's not going to get right. So we've got to be careful with the team. And we've got the FA Cup. And I want to go for it. I don't want sort of.
But we saw it in the last round, didn't we? There was very little.
We played a decent side, and I think we might have to do that again.
Do it again, yeah.
Because Brighton will come strong. You know, they've got no sort of European football, anything to bother them coming up. So they'll go strong. So we need to hit that head on, I feel, anyway.
I just wonder, Jay, before we head over to the Stadium Light and speak to our team there, how do you handle the young lads who are getting an opportunity in this, from the likes of Morrison was on the bench tonight? Do you, as a staff, speak to them and say, look, be ready for this? Or how do you try and get them best prepared to come in if they're called on, albeit they probably aren't going to be in these matches, but they might be?
The Kieran one came probably last minute, so there was no preparation for us to warn him to say that he was going to be involved. But for, you know, the boys, probably occasions that come with less prepared are probably prepared better, if you understand what I'm trying to say. If you kind of prepare them more so and say, oh, by the way, you might be doing this, you might be doing that, they can overthink it, you know, they can get a bit nervous, they might overthink how they're going to go, what they're going to do. Where it comes quite, not as a surprise, because listen, Kieran being over the last 2 to 3 months has really stepped up for our under-21 side. He's been training, you know, every so often with the first team. He's impressed the manager. He's been nominated for obviously Player of the Month, so he's in a really good spot. So, like Tomo said, for us as an academy, tonight was an unbelievable occasion to see him get that opportunity to be involved.
It's a reward for him.
But then that's what I was going to say.
So it's saying, if he's our Player of the Month doing it, he needs a reward.
So they have to reward
there needs to be a carrot there for him. It's not because you keep on doing that, keep on that, and you don't. There's nothing at the end of it, and you're going, and it can be demoralising for a young kid when they're playing really well. Because you are sort of, you want to step up, you have belief in yourself. For it to be denied that, to me, that's always hard. That's why I'd rather reward these lads, especially when they're playing that well.
But even like, so then that conversation to us is, well, listen, you're in a good moment. You obviously, you're playing well, you're doing well. This is your reward. You know, you go and get that moment, you go and take it, go enjoy it. And if any occasion comes where the manager looks at you and says you're ready, he obviously trusts you to go and be involved.
It's what separates the better players, or the ones who can make that next step from the ones who go and have that experience and use it as a motivation. I want a bit more of that.
Yeah.
I didn't get on. I want to get on next time. Is that what you want to see when he comes back? Or not just him, but any player come back and say, Jay, how do I get that again?
In the nicest way, we want them to go be around the first team, and then when they come back, they, in the nice way, don't want to be around us.
Hate it when we go back to the
you know, they want to get back there as quick as they can. So the carrot that we give to them is that if you perform for us, you know, we speak to the manager most days. We're in his office quite a lot. We speak to him probably 3-4 times a week in his office planning sessions. So if the manager says, right, who's playing well? If you're playing well, you're training well, you know, your name's going to get put in front of him, and he'll want to see clips, he'll want to see video. So that's what happens to Kieran, into a scenario now where we'll go on, and the first name where obviously Dom gets suspended, the first name they mention, right, Kieran, how did he play the weekend. Fantastically well, obviously going down to 10 men, different story. But he showed a different side of his game and maturity. So there's a reward. The manager wants to pick you for his squad, and then what an occasion it is, he goes and he travels and he does Sunderland away. Yeah,
it's brilliant to see there's such a joined up way of operating, and there is a pathway for young players to come in, work hard, do well, and then get noticed and kind of work their way into the first team equation.
And it's been the way ever since. Going back to when I was a young boy, you only had one sub. So, but to get there and maybe be the 13th man, getting along with them, but getting that experience of being around, travelling, eating, seeing how the big boys live, it is all then. That doesn't change. So you've got to sort of be ready all the time. And they mightn't think that they're going to get on, but there's always something is that their coaches and the under 21 are going, but you could get on, so you have to be ready.
Both you lads have done that. Was the first experience of doing that more exciting or terrifying?
Oh, terrifying. Mine was Old Trafford, George Best, Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law, for goodness sake. And I was 12th man. Oh my goodness, coming on.
Yeah, mine's different. Mine's PSV away in the Champions League, so probably everyone in the crowd didn't even know who I was, so it was all right. So there was no pressure on me to go perform.
Didn't know who I was, don't worry about that, Jay. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there we go. Georgie Best at Lincoln.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I'm going
to touch as well.
I'm going to have to delve into that a little deep with Tomo later on after the show. Okay, let's break off from the studio for a second to head over to the Stadium of Light and join our team there. Peter McDowell is with Jan Mulby.
Well, Jan Mulby joins us, a happy man, because we feared that this would be a really tough night for Liverpool, but they were dominant in the first half, only probably just missed out on the goal to see it through, but he'll be really happy with that, Arne Slot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, the conditions, and also the fact that they've been unbeaten at home all season. You felt it was going to be a difficult game, but I thought we controlled it pretty well. When we got the goal in the second half, you half expected them to come at us, but I think we coped with that well as well, so never really had too many problems. They never really created a really good chance, so it was pretty comfortable.
We spoke about the physicality before the game. So many top teams have come here and struggled with that, but Liverpool in particular, Ibrahima Konate was stood up tall to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, did really well defending one. We had to. Obviously Brian Brobby is a difficult guy to kind of shut down because of the way he plays in it, but I thought we coped well with him.
What about Liverpool without the ball? In particular, Wirtz was so impressive first half, but he's grown into a player that is an all-rounder, isn't he? And the manager's credited him so many times with that. The work rate, the stuff off the ball is almost as good as the stuff on it at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the one thing that's improved since the 3-3 game at Ellen Road, that we're playing slightly different. We get more men behind the ball, we work a little bit harder without the ball, and it suits us. We're not as vulnerable as we were early on in the season, and Florian Wirtz is obviously a big reason for that as well, isn't it? But yet again, some of the touches he produced out there, isn't it? It's a joy to behold.
The other stuff, the clean sheets, the scoring from a set play as well, that's big and so important. Which one will he be most happy with, do you think?
Difficult to say. Possibly the scoring from the corner, because you just felt that the more corners we were getting, it was only a matter of time before we were going to get one right.
And just finally, it was important after last night as well to get that result.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Massive 3 points on to the next one now. There's an FA Cup game and then we go back into the Premier League, and then we obviously know what's needed, isn't it? Top 5 Champions League qualifications. It's going to be difficult. There's a lot of difficult games in it, but this is a good 3 points.
Great to see you. Safe trip home.
Thank you.
The boys finishing there talking about the challenge of Champions League qualification. Let's just throw up the fixtures coming up in the here and now for we're going to say 3 teams that are involved in the race, but we should give a place to Brentford, who are basically next to us, near enough, if they win their game tomorrow against Arsenal. And this is what's on the horizon for ourselves, Manchester United and Chelsea, between now and the international break. Jay, I don't know how much you're going to look into this or not. Is it a case of winning games and then you want to be within striking distance when we play both teams in the final month of the season? Is that the equation we kind of need to be aiming for?
Yeah, you could say players, managers probably don't look at fixtures, but they'd be lying, because everybody looks at the fixtures and knows what's coming or what's going to be next or what their run is. I think Liverpool, the cliche of they're concentrating on themselves and make sure we go into each game as it comes. There's a good few fixtures there that I'd be very confident of our squad and our players to go and win. And if you look at the Manchester United ones and the Chelsea ones, there's a few sticky ones in there. But for us, there's a period there in them next 5 games where there's a real